Survival horror. This type focuses on vulnerability and limited resources. Players are often given just enough to survive, but never enough to feel safe. It emerged in the 1990s with titles like Resident Evil, where inventory management, scarce ammunition, and careful movement become core mechanics. The tension comes from deciding when to fight and when to run. Environments are usually enclosed and oppressive, reinforcing the sense of being trapped. Survival horror remains one of the most recognizable forms of the genre because it balances fear with strategic gameplay. Psychological horror. Here, the fear comes from the mind rather than immediate danger. These games often blur reality, using unsettling imagery, distorted environments, and unreliable narratives. Instead of constant threats, they rely on atmosphere and emotional discomfort. Silent Hill helped define this approach, focusing on themes like guilt, trauma, and identity. Players are left questioning what is real and what is imagined. The experience lingers longer because it taps into deeper, more personal fears rather than simple jump scares. Action horror. This type blends horror elements with fast-paced combat. Players are more capable, often equipped with powerful weapons, and encouraged to confront threats directly. The fear is reduced, but tension still exists through overwhelming enemies or intense scenarios. Games like Resident Evil 4 shifted the genre in this direction, making combat a central focus. It appeals to players who enjoy horror themes but prefer a more active and responsive playstyle rather than slow, methodical survival. Stealth horror. In stealth horror, avoidance is the primary mechanic. Players are usually defenseless or severely limited in combat ability, forcing them to hide, sneak, and outmaneuver threats. Sound, light, and movement become critical tools for survival. Titles like Outlast and Amnesia popularized this style, where being seen often leads to immediate danger. The fear comes from helplessness and the constant need to stay hidden, creating a sustained sense of pressure. Jump scare horror. This type is built around sudden, unexpected moments designed to startle the player. Timing and audio cues play a major role, often building quiet tension before a sharp interruption. While jump scares can appear in many horror games, some titles rely on them as the main experience, such as Five Nights at Freddy's. The gameplay often revolves around anticipation, where players know something will happen, but not when. This unpredictability keeps attention high and reactions immediate. Atmospheric horror. Atmosphere is the main driver here, with less focus on direct threats. Lighting, sound design, and environmental detail create a persistent sense of unease. These games often move at a slower pace, encouraging exploration and observation. Titles like Limbo and Inside use minimal dialogue, letting visuals and tone carry the experience. The fear is subtle and continuous, built through isolation and ambiguity rather than sudden events. Body horror. Body horror focuses on physical transformation and the loss of control over one's own form. Enemies and environments often feature distorted, mutated designs that feel unnatural and unsettling. This type draws influence from horror films and literature that explore the fragility of the human body. Games like Dead Space use grotesque enemy designs and detailed animations to reinforce this theme. The discomfort comes from witnessing the familiar become something unrecognizable. Cosmic horror. This type explores fear of the unknown on a larger, often incomprehensible scale. It is inspired by ideas of ancient forces and realities beyond human understanding. Rather than clear enemies, players encounter strange phenomena and hidden truths that challenge perception. Games like Bloodborne reflect this style through cryptic storytelling and unsettling world design. The fear is not just physical danger, but the realization of something far greater and more unknowable. Multiplayer horror. Multiplayer horror introduces human unpredictability into the experience. Players may cooperate to survive or compete against each other in asymmetric roles. One player might control a powerful entity while others try to escape or complete objectives. Games like Dead by Daylight rely on this dynamic, where each match feels different. The tension comes from both the game mechanics and the behavior of other players, making every encounter less predictable. Puzzle horror. Puzzle horror combines problem-solving with a constant sense of threat or unease. Players must think carefully while under pressure, often in confined or dangerous environments. The puzzles themselves can contribute to the atmosphere, using disturbing imagery or logic tied to the game's themes. Titles like Little Nightmares blend platforming and puzzles with horror elements. The challenge lies in staying focused while the environment works against the player's comfort and sense of control.